Today I'm going to be talking about burnout, and I used to think that burnout was just part of the process. The exhaustion was normal. Working hard, hustling, pushing yourself to the brinks of exhaustion was just normal until at some point I really needed to take stock. And the question began to come up. What if burnout isn't the price of success? What if it's an invitation, a warning that the success you are chasing is no longer aligned? It's not the right kind of success for you at the moment. And although burnout for me was brutal, I am now grateful for that experience. So you may know exactly what burnout is. Maybe you've experienced it once, maybe several times. You may also be on the verge of it and just feel that you're feeling overwhelmed. Or you may be actually in full burnout at the moment. And wherever you are, I want you to know this. It is possible to get through it. It is possible to heal. It's possible to come away from this experience with so much wisdom, so many gifts, and even gratitude. So before I go into the gifts that I received through the experience, I want you to tell me if any of this resonates. When I was burning out, there were so many little signals and symptoms at the time that I didn't even put together as symptoms of burnout. So one of them was I became super sensitive to sound. So I could not stand the sound of any mobile phones ringing. All phones had to be on silent. I even remember once my parents came to visit me in Dubai, and they're very sociable people, and their phones were ringing. And I was like, stop it. And they probably thought, okay. They were very nice and kind, and they didn't say anything. But it was really, really, really annoying me. And now I know that a sensitivity to sound or high sensitivity to sound is definitely a sign of burnout. Another symptom I had was being exhausted, like zombie-like exhaustion by maybe 9 or 10 p.m. And there was a time when, Bolu's just getting ready. Bolu's just she's waking up. And I would remember sitting at table with friends at dinner and not being able to even have conversations. And to make things worse, in the middle of the afternoon, when I'm doing my work, I will just have this energy slumps where I simply could not function. And of course, you have an energy slump, so you want some energy, so you get a food craving, you start snacking, and it's a vicious cycle. And all of that didn't really stop me. When I really started to pay attention was when I started experiencing unexplained aches and pains. So aches and pains all over my body, and I wasn't able to pinpoint what it was. And I would go to doctors and they would say there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, there is something wrong with me, right? And I recall when one doctor said to me, are you stressed at work? And I looked at her like she was crazy. And I said, no. And she probably thought, oh my goodness, this lady is delusional and highly disconnected. And to be honest, I was disconnected because I was very stressed at work. It had just become my normal. And so I didn't even associate it with stress. And so if you were experiencing any of those, from food cravings or even maybe feeling highly irritable, biting everybody's head off before they even say anything, very frustrated. Another symptom I had was my hormones were all over the place. So my cycle was absolutely a mess. And I started feeling a lot of disconnection, trying to resist my body, I feel like I was feeling betrayed by my body, right? And all of this obviously was stress triggered. But again, I hadn't put two and two together. And so why was I pushing? Why was I doing all of this? And to be honest, I happen to have the hyperachiever saboteur. And underneath the hyperachiever saboteur, which is a way of functioning where you're not functioning in your sage energy, in your wisdom energy, right? Is at the time I had this deep belief that I was worthy when I created results. So my self-worth was hinged onto the results I created. And if any of you believe that, then somehow you would also feel that you are lovable when you create results. And nobody wants to feel unlovable, right? And the cost of working for love, working for recognition, of basically hinging your worth on your results, on not understanding that you're worthy, full stop, no and but, no conditions, is that by overgiving, by bending yourself into a pretzel to fit in, to please, to buy recognition and approval, you then sacrifice the most important person, your essence. You sacrifice your health. You sacrifice your relationships. Because with low energy, living in survival mode, it was difficult for me to invest the time and energy in relationships. And so the disconnection was definitely, isolation was definitely there. Because I was so stressed, I was in tunnel vision. So my creativity also reduced. It was one track, it was just productivity. We're not going to be trying new things. There was no time for that. It was go, 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 go. And of course, I've just told you about my health, the impact on that, which many people underestimate. But if you have burnt out before and you think, oh, I'm just going to snap out of it by a little weekend, then you haven't really burnt out, or you don't know what it is. Because when you've truly burnt out, like I did, that was brain fog. I mean, at some points, I just felt that every time I wanted to think, my brain would literally stop. I couldn't push myself any longer. And I now feel blessed because I say it was my body's way of no longer participating in my nonsense. My body's way of ensuring that I'm here today to tell you the story. Because some people don't even have that opportunity. Some people simply drop dead without any warning at all. And so it was definitely a wake-up call, for which I am extremely grateful. And another thing that became very apparent to me regarding burnout was the understanding when I started coming out of it, that the reason I burnt out was not so much about the amount of work there was, it was about my relationship with that work. And so there are two things there. When something becomes almost a drug of sorts, there is an addiction. So I was a workaholic. It was constant. There was no balance. There was no rest. There was no play. That in itself can lead to burnout. But the other aspect of it is, for several years, I loved what I did. I was super excited about it. But at some point, it felt like I was going through the motions, but my soul had departed. And because of this, my heart was no longer in it. My head was rationalizing why I should do it. And I used to think, oh, I'm very, very mentally strong. This is the strongest part of me. And I realized during that experience that yes, I am mentally strong, as many of you are. And if my heart is not in it, then everything feels heavy. And I bet you can relate. So if you start trying to exert yourself to push through things without the joy, the buoyancy of joy, it feels 10 times heavier, which leads to even more burnout. And so one remedy, or one prevention, I would say, one antidote to burnout, is when you can find as much joy in your life as possible. When you can either infuse your activities with joy or make sure other aspects of your life are so filled with joy that that particular aspect does not create an indelible dent. So that's one big thing. Where is your joy? When is the last time you laughed out loud? When was the last time you had a belly laugh? When was the last time you just giggled for no reason at all? And joy and gratitude are so linked. So one way to really shift in the way you do things now, one thing I recommend to my incredible clients is fill your day, infuse your days with joy. Another thing I recommend is boundaries, especially in the morning when you wake up. Before everyone wants a piece of you as they would, before you hop onto Instagram and TikTok and all the other social media platforms, before you start answering your emails frenetically, guilty as charged, I would wake up and start answering my emails like it was a drug, as I said. To take a moment for you, a moment to check in with yourself, to really fill your own cup before you start pouring out into everyone and everything else. Because when you show up with your cup already full, there is something to give. But when you show up and you're already on empty, then you're running on fumes and you're not able to give as much as you would like, and you're also really exhausting yourself. What is really important as well is to understand that burnout can lead to your dreams literally dying. Because without the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual energy and health, how are you going to be that vehicle through which your gift comes to the world? So it's not about going through life thinking I will rest when I'm finished. That rest is a reward. My invitation is once and for all to understand that rest is your birthright. It's not a reward. Rest is the way you show up. I show up rested so that my neurons are wiring and firing optimally. I am super creative. I am open. I am not easily triggered. There's a lot of buffer. I'm joyful. I'm playful. I'm creative. When you walk into a room rested, that is available to you. And so rest is no longer something that you get to put on the last line of your to-do list that's as long as Antarctica. Rest is what you do first so that you can actually achieve the goals that you set out to. You're discerning even with regards to where you put your time. You might decide, actually, why am I doing 100 things? If I do 3 of these things, the impact is going to be so great and the others are not that important. But to be able to see that, you've got to be calm, serene, rested, instead of frenetic. So I would love to ask you, have you ever hit a moment where you felt successful but empty? Also, what's your definition of success? And is that definition of success today still aligned with your definition of success before? Or are you feeling that it's time to change the robe? And I want you to drop a yes if you have ever felt burnout creeping up, if you've experienced it before, if you've actually seen other people experience it, and you would wonder how to support them. And before I hop off, I would love for you to remember 3 things. The first thing is that burnout is like going through the motions, but your soul has departed. The second thing is that success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, and that's by Tony Robbins. And the third thing is that you deserve a life that you truly celebrate instead of settling for a life that you tolerate. My name is Bolu TV, and I am the Next Level Living Coach. I support incredible women leaders and entrepreneurs in igniting the desire to burn down all the things inside of yourselves that are in the way of that life that you truly desire. And it's about stepping into the flames of joy, passion, excitement, expansion, love, fulfillment, and truly showing up in your magnified essence. So, this is the space where you no longer bend yourself into a pretzel, you reconnect with your true self, you magnify your essence, and you reveal your magnificence. Love and light.